Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon to all of you. Today we are going to have our group discussion video 5 for Lex
2057.
2057. So my name is Raja Izzuddin Shah bin Raja Muhammad Azahan Shah, and my metric number is 200963. And next.
So my name is Muhammad Hani bin Rosli and my metric number is 201041.
Okay, my name is Hakim bin Hamdan and my matrix number is 200388.
Hello, my name is Kamal Anwar bin Kamil Zaman and my matrix number is 208 and 437.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Akil Naziruddin bin Muhammad Nazaruddin. My matrix number is 199864.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Zaiful bin Muhammad Zain. My matrix number is 203727.
Hi, my name is Hanan Jasmine binti Abdul Hadi and my matric number is 207058.
Hello, my name is Amir Adi Haikal bin Amruddin. My matrix number is 202597.
Okay, so everyone has introduced themselves. Okay, for this group discussion video, we are going to discuss about and decide on the format and the delivery of our second podcast for group 2, which the topic is on food. So first of all, let's decide the format and how we are going to deliver this podcast. Anyone have any suggestion? Can speak up.
May I start?
Please.
I have a suggestion for group discussion, the podcast format. I would like to suggest we make a video format to present our headline, because we can edit ourselves and put some illustration to make it more interesting. That's all for my suggestion.
Thank you, Kamaru. Does anyone have any suggestions or other suggestions, or anything that you would like to see?
For the suggestion that you just made, Kamaru, can you go into a little bit of detail, because I don't understand what you mean by the video format.
Yeah, sure. We make like kind of presentation, but we make it as a like other podcast, but we make as a video, and then we can put some illustration to make our presentation clear. It's like presentation format, but it's in the video, in the video style.
So
Can you get me?
basically what you're saying is just basically make a video presentation. So basically you just a person just talk to about their topic.
Yes. It's only my suggestion.
That's a good suggestion, but I think that's what a podcast is, because a podcast basically needs to bounce off other person. So if it's a video format, I don't think you can bounce off anybody.
Maybe we can hear from others.
Yeah.
Others first.
So Aidil, do you have any suggestion on the format of the podcast?
For me, I think good format is like basically the same format as for group 1, basically has one host and and the other and panels, basically just going off of them. yeah, that's the only thing that I can think of. I don't know about you guys. Do you guys have any other suggestions?
I think I agree with Ideal's idea, which is use the same format for podcast one, because I think if we use the same format, we can assign the same roles for the group member for podcast two. I think it's maybe a bit easier for us.
For podcast one, we host and guest format, right? Like an interview, right?
Yes.
Where the
Yes.
host ask a question and the guest answer, right?
Yeah, probably like a
Oh.
forum, probably.
Yes. So for me, I will go with the same format as podcast one, because it's easy for us to do it, because the host will take the lead of the podcast, as he or she will ask the question to the guest, and the guest can throw their opinion about the topic. So our podcast will be more what you call it, more smooth, will run smoothly. So that's my opinion on how we want to make our for the podcast too.
I think it would be a good idea if we do as group one, as we also can standardize the format. So I think it's a good idea. I agree with the group one format.
How about Zarif and Hanan?
Okay, for the delivery of the podcast, I think the podcast two should follow podcast one, how the podcast one to deliver the podcast for the next presentation. Since it's connecting live, so I think that the video is like pre-recording like Cameron. The video just now that you recommend is like a pre-recording like.
Yeah, it's like pre-recording, but all of us are in there. But
So I agree with like Ame and you guys agree just now. So I think the best option to deliver this podcast is by following just podcast one deliver just 2 weeks. That's fine. Say Hanan, you can go with your opinion. Thank you.
I also think that the interview format is the best option because it's easier to assign roles to each member and everyone gets a chance to speak their mind and everyone can participate in a smooth arrangement. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, sorry for interrupt. I just wanted to ask again for the podcast one. We will be doing the forum concept, right? And does it have any substance or any like PowerPoint or any sources to be displayed during the forum, or it is just an open talk?
I think for that is better for each person who does the forum to basically present how they want to. So if they want to do a slide, they can do a slide. If they want to do oral talk, you can do oral talk. So basically, it's up to them how they want to do it basically. So basically, it will be different, not all the same. That's my suggestion anyway.
can I add something? I think for the forum part, each panel, they can prepare their, let's say, if they want to make the interview with the illustration, I think they can prepare the slide for their turn. Just to make the sharing clear.
So basically, it is just an optional thing. optional thing to do. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, but when if we want to standardize it, we can do it together. And one more for the backdrop, I think. So that just right now we have our own backdrop, right? So can be standardized. And
Oh yes, just like podcast one, we already discussed for podcast one.
and podcast also.
So we do the same for podcast two.
I think for the background, since if you remember that we had our own team name, right? So we can include that in our background, so to be, so that the viewers can see which group is from, who's from which group. Basically like that.
That's a great idea. So I think we can all agree that the format and for the delivery of the second podcast will be the same as the first podcast, which is forum format. And then next we have to discuss on, we have to assign on the key roles among group members. So what are the key roles that the second group need for their podcast to be successful?
I think we need the same for podcast one, editor, script writer, and the host for the podcast.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
do we
so-
need only one host, or we want to have a co-host? One or two hosts for this podcast.
I think for the host, we're not going to include group two, only for group one, right? So basically, a
Yes.
member from group one will be the host.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Because if I'm not mistaken, the group one will just be the what they call audience
The
only,
guest,
right?
the panel, like the
The
panel.
panel.
Okay, so we have a script writer, editor, and host. So for host, I will suggest we
Lukman.
take two hosts, right? So
two.
because team one also have 4 members, so these 3 roles consist of 4. So I volunteer to take the editor role for this podcast.
Okay, so Hanif will be the editor for the second podcast. Then we will the next role will be the host. So we will have 2 hosts, right? So who will be the host? I would suggest Lukman Hakim will be best suited to be the host.
Luman, come on, Luman, you can do it.
Maybe I can because I already become the script writer for podcast one.
Yeah, for the host,
Okay.
will be the same as for podcast one, right? Where the script writer will write the thing that needs to be said for the host, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the guideline
Yeah, guideline.
for the host.
The script writer needs to be from group 2 also, because they know what more about the topics, so they would know what to say during the podcast.
Yeah, for group.
Before that, we on for host only Lukman and one more person who's gonna be the host.
Or can Lukman handle the host by himself? Lukman, do you need any help?
I'm not sure about that. Maybe I need a partner
I
for
can
the host.
support Lokman with that, and I can join Lokman to be the second host.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you,
So
Akil.
thank you.
So the next
Okay,
one
the
is
next one is
script
script
writer. Right?
writer. Yes. Anyone who from group 2 would like to volunteer to be the script writer? I suggest Zarif Mirza.
Or does Hannah want to do it?
If no one wants to do it, I can do it. The script writer.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I think no one.
for the
I
script
think no one
writer,
wants to do it.
do they need to write the script for every single person in the group or just for the host? Because
No,
for
no,
podcast
just
one, only for the host, right?
only for the host.
I think only for the host. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Because the panelists can give their opinion freely.
So basically the panelists write their own script basically if they want to.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so no one from group 2 is volunteering, so Hanan will be the script writer. And then okay, I think that's all the key roles, right, for this podcast.
What about the editor?
The editor is Hanif for
I
podcast, right?
already volunteer for the editor.
But wasn't
So
there like
sorry,
more
sorry,
than one editor last time?
Yeah. If more, I think.
Like for what was the other editor?
One for background and one for the music, I think. The music.
Yeah.
Music.
Oh yeah, the intro music, the intro and
music.
outro, right? Eden, can you help me with
Yes,
editor?
sure. I
Okay.
can also be the editor.
So me and Eden will take the editor roles. Is there any things that we need to discuss or that's all?
I think if I'm not mistaken, for this group discussion 5, I think we have completed all the the list of things that we should be discussed, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so too. Okay, so probably that's everything for the group discussion video 5. Or does anyone want to add anything or ask anything?
For me, no.
Same goes to me. No.
No,
Yes,
from me too.
no.
For me, no.
Okay, I think that's all for today. Thank you very much for joining this meeting and have a good day. Assalamualaikum.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Waalaikumsalam.